Okay, so we're gonna jump right into here, man. And this is going to be what I call the 3 areas of expansive growth, y'all. Expansive growth. Okay. Now, I drew something. You guys might have seen this. If you guys see my stories, if you're not following me on IG, make sure you do. That's where I currently post most of this type of content work, okay? So I drew something like this. This was the 3 circles, right? And we're just going to call each part of this circle. First one right here, we're going to call it mindset. In here is mindset, okay? And then in here, we're going to call this skill set. And then in here, we're going to call this habits. Okay, so these are the 3 areas, right? I call this middle part. And if you guys are familiar with Brad Lee, a lot of this information particularly, I learned this about 2-3 years ago from him. In one of his, I think this was like Closer School or something like that. He made mention this 3 parts. Something maybe that I kind of made my own inside of here is what I'll call this right here. Call this your area of genius. Okay. Call this middle point right here your area of genius. See if I could color this part. Okay. So highlight this part. I like this little handy dandy tool here. Boom. 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 Okay. So we got those 3 areas. And in this middle area right here, can we shade this? Oh, I like this. All right. Can we turn this into a different color? Okay. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Learning as we go. This part right there is called your area of genius. Okay. And what's cool about this, y'all, is that we have control over these things. The first thing I talked about inside of the things of the mindset. So the things of the mindset is very crucial. Okay. We don't see things as we are. We don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Okay. This is the mindset piece. We don't see things as we are. We see things as, we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Okay. I'm going to repeat that one more time just to make sure that's simple and clear. Inside of mindset, we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Okay. We see things as we are. And so why mindset is important is, one, if we don't increase our own self-image, if we don't increase the way in which we see ourselves, if we don't increase that part, none of this would work. That's why mindset is such a big thing, because a lot of the things are working on a subconscious level, meaning underneath our awareness. Okay. If that part isn't good, now it does not have to be perfect, you guys, by the way. I'm not like the super woo-y people who, like, you know, it's all just, it's nothing tangible and pragmatic in which you can take action into. I fell into that trap once, but it never really resonated with me, because I'm like, okay, then what do I do, right? Like, that's why, like, this whole personal development thing is really, really interesting. Always get signal versus noise. Always look for the signal. So not only do you, yes, need the belief, need the mindset stuff, we also need the daily action steps in which we're going to dive into, that covers into skill sets and habits. Okay, so but I think why a lot of people get lost in this mindset stuff is because it's the most crucial. It's the most crucial. Okay, it's the most crucial. Why? Because even if you get the other 2 right, you might achieve the success, but then That's why you might see a lot of people like commit suicide and like go crazy, because their mindset to hold these things was never in place. Like you're building on top of your foundation is not solid. So like this is foundational. So if your foundation is not solid, you can really have the nicest glass house or the nicest building, but the moment any wind or anything comes, because we maybe we overcompensated in our habits and our skill sets, and now we pick up things that no longer serve us, right? And at that point, what happens is like that's no good. That's no good, right? All right, so that's that part. So that's the foundation part. Very, very crucial. Next part we're going to touch on is the skill set. The skill set. And this skill set, you guys, this is the value that we bring to the marketplace. Exchange of value. Exchange of our value to money. Okay. So I'll use myself as an example because this is a live working thing for me. Okay. There's a point in my I was really, really solid on mindset. Now, mindset is an ongoing thing. So when I say I'm really, really solid, like a bit better than the average person, and I could comprehend certain things. I understood where I was at in my growth and my process and all that stuff. Okay. However, the skill set that I had, I didn't necessarily know how to monetize it. I didn't know how to monetize the skill set in which I had, right? And I also was not at I was maybe about like maybe like a level 4 entrepreneur, level 5 entrepreneur. I'll call it in a level 2 opportunity. Like I was growing, and I was growing in myself, but my opportunity which I was in versus my skill set was like I was growing past the opportunity I was in, and I did not know how to convert that into dollars. Okay, so then I was suffering. Okay. And when I really started to understand the skill set game, and I was like, man, there are only a few certain skills that people will pay over, like people will go crazy for, like, because we as humans, we need it. Number one, I'll tell you right now, is communication. Communication is vital. Okay. And people that are very good in communicating, sending out their messages to convey to people, they have the most followings just in anything in general. Okay. You could take this into religion, you could take this into the marketplace, you could take this into communication is huge, right? Inside of communication, you go into media, you can go into just know communication. Yeah, very, very valuable skill to have. That's one skill. Another one is sales. I do not care what anyone says. Sales is it's a foundational skill that I believe everyone should learn. Okay, because you have to sell people on your ideas. We're selling people on a day-to-day basis anyway, but we get to sell people on our ideas, on our opportunity, on our programs, courses, belief systems. Like everything is based on sales. It's just, and sales is what exactly is that? It's a transfer of belief, right? I believe this thing is going to help you, XYZ. Here's how, blah, 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 blah. You dropping your sales pitch. Here are the benefits versus the pain in which is removing. And if the discrepancy from how much you're charging versus what they're receiving is very, very obscure, and it really hits a high pain point for them, and your service, product, or whatever removes that pain point for people, you're going to make a sale a lot of the times. Okay, your percentages is going to be really, really good. Okay, that comes down to the product. That's a whole different conversation. But the point is skill set. Even if it's not even like in the typical sales arena, say if you're a doctor, right? You've acquired those skills over 8 years of college, maybe 4 years of regular school, and then another 4 years of nursing or whatever, right? You get the point. So the thing is, when someone comes and they need your services, they're like, yo, listen, let's say they need a heart surgery, for example. They're not at that point questioning how much this stuff is, right? Their pain point is so high that a surgeon, whatever amount in which they're charging, especially in the Western society where there's like a payment plan or whatever, they're not even questioning your price. The pain point is so high, they need it off, and whatever, how much it is, they will figure it out and give it to you. Like once your product can get that good, where like the pain point to the customers is like crazy in which you're solving, the amount in which you get valued at in the marketplace in this today's society is just really, really high. That's just kind of how it works. Okay. So the skill set, ensuring like we have the right skill sets that's going to be paying us in proportion to our goals, right? Very, very key. Now, the last aspect to this, okay, so if we don't have that, we get to go develop those skills, take the trainings, take the classes, do whatever it takes to develop that. Okay, now we have the foundations, the foundation of the proper right belief, the proper right frameworks that we see ourselves and we see the world. The next thing is having the proper skill sets in which we go exchange for value in the marketplace. Okay, and the third part of this equation here is our habits. Our habits for me is where it's the stickability. Okay, this is where what we say we want to do are being done over and over again, that it becomes automatic. Right now, habits are in the beginning very difficult to establish, right? Because it's typically a new pattern, like learning a new language, for example. Right, in the beginning might be really, really, really tough, like just getting down to A and B's and C's and the 1s and 2s and 3s, especially if you're not being exposed to such thing, right? So like now what happens is you have this habit in which you're putting it into your equation. That's the only way in which you can make things automatic. Like the human brain is wired to not do much, right? It's wired for survival. Okay, now if we then implant our habit, our core habit in which we want to implement, if we implement that as part of like our identity, those habits become on automatic. Now, you want to get so good by repetition over and over again that the brain does not see this new habit as a really challenging thing. It's not taking up a lot of fuel in order to do anymore. It's like someone in the basketball court, for example, that's practicing their shots, right? They're practicing 100+ shots every single day. After a while, like that muscle memory of this shooting, it just becomes automatic, right? Like the brain, as quickly as possible, does not want to use any fuel for this activity. Like, oh, this is what we're doing now. Okay, cool. This is who we are. Okay, cool. Identity. And shortcut. That's his whole job. Okay, so rather than trying to like beat it, just use it to our advantage. Okay, so the amount of times in which we repeat this habit, hence good or bad, hence these habits are adding to the value of our lives. The more we are doing those habits over and over again will determine the scale in which we can, the scale of effectiveness. That's how I see it. How much of the skill set and foundation of which are we applying? Okay, how much of that are we applying? So for example, if I'm really good at sales but only make one sales call a month, like bro, like my habits are not aligned with what I'm saying my goals are, with what I say I want to achieve, right? Like say, for example, I have the proper foundation, I have but my habits are just like poor. Say I'm going out drinking every single night, and I'm waking up super late, I'm missing on my appointments, I'm like, it's not making any sense. Like even though I have the skill set and I have the mindset, I seriously doubt you have the mindset if you're doing those things anyway. Like just outrageous, right? It wouldn't add up. So the scale of effectiveness is based on those habits, right, that we have. So all of this incongruency, you give yourself, man, 3 years, right, to master. Like when I say master, I say that lightly because it's really, really an ongoing thing. At the moment you become about 80% good in any of these things, people will think you're a master anyway. Deep down within our own selves, we know like we haven't mastered it. We just know we could do it, you know, with our eyes closed. Mastery requires, it's an ongoing thing. But we'll be so good, people think like we're geniuses and masters. Okay, now, okay, so let's circle. So now we have our mindset stuff, which is our foundation of stuff. We have our skill set stuff, which is the exchange of value to the marketplace. We have our habits, which scales our effectiveness. Within that middle, this is our genius zone, right? The moment in which we've implemented these three things consistently over and over again, like if anyone does it in any field, okay, starting from brand new this year, 2023, okay, this is literally 3 years, 3 areas, 3 million. If you have the right foundation, mindset wise, and you have the right skill set, which can earn you $1 million a year at a minimum and scale up, right? Let's even say you can earn you, say someone in your industry is earning at least $10 million, okay? And there's a lot of industries in which people are earning that. $10 million, let's just say that's gross, okay? And net, they can net $3 million, okay? And you apply those habits for 3 years straight. There's no reason you can, and also I like 3 years, 3 years, 3 areas, 3 million, because it also rhymes, right? People call you a genius in any field, okay? As long as these 3 things hit, anyone can do this. As long as those 3 things are present and willing to pay the price of action on all of this, you can do this. So I hope you guys found value inside of this video. If you have a specific area you would like for me to go over in more detail, totally let me know. But this is a concept in which I have just refined over and over for myself in learning from like some of the guys and we all learn from today. And the foundation, the exchange of value, the scale of effectiveness, which is our mindset, skill set, and habits, gives us an area of genius. We can accomplish a lot of things. So go out and apply this into your life. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Drop a comment, drop a like, share this with someone that you care about. If this landed for you, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. Peace.